This is a very important video. I hope you share, like, comment, and subscribe immediately. If after this video you don't understand why people are cut off from God after I die, their offspring are cut off with no way to be right with God, no way to go to heaven, then you are a complete idiot. You should watch it 3 or 4 times. Take notes. This is extremely, extremely important. There's 18 points, and these aren't all the reasons I'm right. Just what fits on this card here. The title is The Collective Worth of Humanity and Their Sum Total Individual Beings and Natural DNA. Again, the collective worth of humanity and their sum total individual beings and natural DNA. When so many belong to groupings of basically uniform responses, what can they say? Again, the title is The Collective Worth of Humanity and Their Sum Total Individual Beings and Natural DNA. When so many belong to groupings of basically uniform responses, what can they say? So remember, in the Bible it says, "How long, sovereign and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood?" Justice is key. In many places in the Bible, it directly says or refers to the idea that God is a God of justice. In Revelation 19, very key chapter in the Bible, Jesus said to wage war with justice, the principle, the spirit, etc. Let's get into this, shall we? Point number 1. They cheated me out of my right to lead the world from their hearts. Consider motives and actions. Actions speak louder than words in regards to what's in your heart. The Bible said it's not what goes into someone's mouth that defiles them, it's what comes out of their mouth because it comes from their heart. And of course, their mouth, first and foremost, is their actions. The Bible is full of things like this where it's alluding to something else, okay, and not what it appears to be saying. Sometimes it's very simple to figure out like this, sometimes it's complex. That's why I do not agree with the Bible. It did not write in the Bible. God did not say that this book is the true word of God, okay? The Bible is just the Bible. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. The Bible was not there. Point number 2. They are in the spirits and continuities of countless crimes against God and humanity, which began long before I was born, including starving 3 million children to death a year. Okay, so they starve to death or die of hunger-related issues. Okay, and that's just one example. Okay, there's mass drugging, there's crimes, there's rape, so on and so forth. 3, by controlling breeding in their cultures in a way that isn't morally precise, to the purposefully evil degrees that they do, they cheated the righteous in regards to their reproductive cycles. They even keep me from martial arts. The word martial is marital scramble because the principles of martial arts, right? Martial arts is about character, are the principles of what makes a valid marriage, a valid society, a valid governor, etc. So when they cheated them in regards to the reproductive cycle, I being the most righteous person ever possible, due to tech breeding, generational rebellion, generational ill-gotten gains, okay, it doesn't allow for someone to surpass the degree of focus, moral intensity I achieved as proven through martial arts. God put a light on its stand. God allowed me to prove I'm the most righteous person ever. And it's a walk in the park when you examine my martial art argument and the sabotage that I endured and how I still triumph sabotage. Nowhere in the history of martial arts do you see someone as sabotaged as I am, who still triumphed more than everyone else in the history of martial arts. It simply couldn't be. 4, they screened out and killed the righteous and denied them offspring in a world that should have allowed for a way for them to be right with God and serve him, their offspring. A world that should have allowed. They didn't allow the righteous to have offspring with a suitable helper, okay, which would then be right with God, okay, and that they would raise themselves. So why should they have offspring that could be right with God? The Bible even uses many scales this way, okay? The eye for an eye has to do not with physical justice in its refined form. It didn't come to destroy the law, but fulfill. Its refined form is what is true justice in regards to them taking your eye. Ironically, they even messed up my eyes. You can't make this up. What is true justice is for your offspring to be cut off from God. And by the time I'm finished with this, we're on point 5 right now, right? By the time I'm finished with this, you'll know for sure that I'm right. I'm not just responding to one point. There's 18 points here, and there's more than that prove me right. 5, they practice extreme and calculated deceit and the dumbing down of the world. Even the word consent, these sniveling social club dogs, and all you people who follow them, no serving can be greater. Okay, the word consent, because it's a calculated deceit. It's a psychological construct. It's a propaganda theater art made to favor scum construct. Government, meant meaning mind. Establishment, meant meaning mind. White supremacy, white establishment. Like I have to explain this. 6, they interfered with my message and its delivery. They even had the nerve to interfere with the last valid representative of God's message and its delivery, changing my image, putting red on my lips, like they did in this video. Okay? Because they use technology to put red on my lips and it doesn't come off, and they also add more red to the other videos in my video series. I have 22 witnesses. 22, can you imagine? You have 22 witnesses and people give a bunch of pedophiles and their allies the benefit of the doubt instead? Outrageous. Won't tolerate anyone that doesn't believe me. 7, they changed the way I look with fumes and poisons. They even changed my voice. Keep in mind, the word prepare is pre-rape scrambled. Is that a coincidence? When pirate is rape it scrambled? Together to get her? I say no. 8, they edited my videos and kept me from talking to attractive women effectively. And I'm not the only one. I think social distancing refers to in truth. Their main concern isn't whether you wear a mask or people die. Their main concern is they control who talks to who and who dates who. They're eugenicists. The self-direction of humanity's breeding first and foremost in humanity. That's what eugenics is about. Impairing the qualities of some people and enhancing the qualities of the others in the minds of idiots at least. Okay. Point number 9. They ordered attractive women to shun me. When they did that, boy, did they fuck up. You're better off ending the world than giving that order or following it. God is love. God is the creator. Crimes against proclaiming God's work with the actions, procreation, are crimes against God. God is love. When you ordered them to not date me, you ordered them not to love God. Point number 10, RNA and patriarchal gene expressions arguments must be considered. So are you your father's son? Does the apple fall far from the tree? Do you put yourself in races and gene groupings or genres, music, and classes and demographic groupings for no reason? We must consider DNA. 11. There are forced, coerced, and arranged marriages all over the world. Also, there are many sex cults. While they ordered attractive women to shun the most righteous guy ever, even if it was someone else, I would still make this ruling. You think that was possible? Because there is no fucking excuse for that. And on top of that, there are forced, coerced, and arranged marriages all over the world. Also, there are many sex cults. 12, prostitution, child sexual abuse, porn, and rape are extremely common. The word compare is mock rape. Now, if you were a serious, loyal person to the king and you had a daughter who was about 20 years old, 30 years old, or whatever, 35, and she was attractive, and she told you that her boss told her to shun this guy or she's going to be persecuted, what the fuck do you think you should do? And I'm not saying to be violent per se, and I'm not saying not to be violent. But the point is, under no circumstance should anybody's orders come before mine. I am Christ, not some sniveling white racist arrogant dog. How dare you confuse that even for a moment? 13, they lack sense, decency, and humanity to the extreme, which led them to arguing with me about who should be in charge. Wow. Can you imagine? part of your life story. Put it on your fucking tombstone. You're so proud of it. You argue with Christ, the top martial arts ever possible, over who should be in charge. On your way to meet your maker, knowing your offspring were on their way to meet God. How fucking retarded is that? Whoever gave the order should immediately kill themselves, and maybe I'll have a speck of mercy on them. "14. Part of the culture of the global governing class is to tease me with attractive women, even bait me with attractive females, and then brag about them having sex with them. That's what they call maturity. That is the essence of white supremacy and white governance. The essence of Jewish and LGBT governance. Their social clubs, their fraternities. That's what they're most proud of. Their phallic symbols, their obelisks. Their imitation obelisks. The little devil weenies. Cowards." 15. They confuse people about what it means for Jesus to come back on a cloud and to bring God's judgment. That's why I don't like the Bible. Did it allow for them to easily confuse people? Have some people somewhere somehow are looking in the sky, wondering when Jesus is going to come? When if they did their due diligence, their churches told the truth about it, they would connect it to all the cloud verses, all the cloud scriptures. They even have computers where you can type in the word cloud and see all the scriptures that come up. Many, many, many of them know that I am Christ. And they still lie to people. You think their offspring, after they, in a calculated manner, denied me a suitable helper, an offspring that would be right with God? Or offspring in general, really? Something that I would raise myself? You think they should connect to God and go to heaven? Are you fucking insane? Like I have to explain this. God is God of justice, not forgiving damn demons and their pathetic bloodlines. "16. They go through the motions of trying to get me to forgive them or pretend to forgive them and to be their slave. While they're trying to force me to say that and go through the motions of it at least, you think them and their offspring should be forgiven? My goodness, how dumb would you have to be? How dumb would you have to be? 17. They cause me to have cognitive impairment and pain, physical pain. They also threaten me and my family. 18, they limit what I eat and drink. And obviously, when you look at my argument in this video, is there a counter argument? I've made this argument for quite some time. Nobody has a counter argument. Countless Christians from various denominations have heard my argument in its various forms. They're quieter than a fucking church mouse because they know they're guilty as fucking sin. They stand condemned as fucking worms, incapable of bringing a single man or woman into this world, just fucking soulless dogs. And never forget that I am the top, and they are pitiful worms. I, Chuko Ameka, have stopped. Thank you.